Hello again. What I'm attempting to do with these interviews is give you a well-rounded understanding of real estate and related fields. You may remember a not too exciting tour of a home we were preparing for sale and the challenges involved in getting it ready on the outside. Today, we'll be getting it ready on the inside. What does it take to make a home really stand out when you walk in the door? Let me introduce Debbie Berry, owner of All Things New Interior Designs. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi.
I can walk around the house and see it might need a roof or siding and so forth. You're more on the aesthetic end of things. Tell us what an interior design person does.
An interior designer typically comes alongside a client and helps them choose products that they're going to be putting into their room, whether it's flooring, window treatments, paint on the walls, pillows, new furniture. We come in and help the client to pull all these things together to make the look cohesive.
What got you started?
I love interior design. As a child, I would actually rearrange the furniture in my room. I was really, really young at the time, and my mom would come in and constantly find my room changed around, and then I started helping her do stuff in the house. I've just always loved it. I've loved the fresh new feel that you get when you change things around in your house, and I love putting pretty things up.
That's interesting. Now, in the people that you've helped in the past, can you give us an idea of what you've done there and how you can be of help to clients?
Sure. So I recently helped a client of mine redo her great room. So it's a big room that has a living room, kitchen, and dining room within one room. And she is a widower, and she had a budget that we had to, keep real close eye on. And so she just wanted a fresh new look. She wanted a relaxing feel to her room. So we went in and we talked about the changes that she wanted. And I brought some before and after pictures actually to share with you today.
Okay, appreciate that.
To show you what we did. So this is the living room before. So it was kind of dark. She didn't like the rug she had. She had had it for years and years and years, and she wanted an update. And she just wanted a light, relaxing feeling. So we went in and we actually had a coffee table made for her. And you can tell the room just looks really different. It looks fresh. We painted the entire inside of the home. We painted a sea salt Sherwin-Williams. It's like a light foamy green color. It's real relaxing and pretty. We got her a new rug. We painted the mantle white to update the look a little bit. It was the dark cherry wood. So yeah, that's the after. And then we also did her living. Here's another picture of her living room. Looking at the fireplace.
Okay, so that's the fireplace in that cherry wood. The walls look a lot darker, that's for sure.
Yeah, the walls were a lot darker. I can't remember the color that they were, but they were a dark green color. So, and here's another after. Picture.
Wow.
We added some fun mirrors to bounce the light off because there's only one window on that wall, so we wanted some more light coming in, and we painted the fireplace. And then her dining room wasn't bad because there was a giant window right to the left of the table, so there was quite a bit of light coming in, but she was tired of all the black furniture, so we actually had her furniture professionally painted. So we changed all the black to white and lightened it up, and we got her a new chandelier. And again, the walls in the dining room were painted that sea salt Sherwin-Williams color.
So I'm looking at the lamps in the background. Those are new too, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing what lighting does to a space. A lot of people don't think about it, but putting a lamp in a room just makes it have a cozier feel, and it gives you more lighting, which is really good in Oregon, especially, I think.
Yeah, that's right there, especially during the winter.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the most important aspect of getting a home ready for sale? Is there some rooms that are more important than others?
Yeah, that's a good question. I get this question actually quite a bit. The first thing that I tell my client when they're asking questions on how to get a home ready to sell, the first thing I tell them is we need to get top dollar for your home, and we need to sell it quickly. That's my goal as an interior designer when I'm helping a client. So the first thing I tell them is we need to declutter. Declutter. A lot of people have lots of furniture in a room. They just pack their rooms full of furniture. So taking out some things that you don't necessarily need all the time is a great idea to make your room appear larger and to just not have it so packed full of stuff.
I noticed on that first picture you had of the living room that it's pretty cluttered.
Yeah.
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 It made a huge difference.
Yeah.
In what you're doing there.
Taking out some things that weren't necessary and lightening up the room really helped.
Now, I run into that quite a bit as a realtor. I'll go into a home and it'll be just,
Yeah.
almost pathways.
Yeah. And it's hard. And a lot of times the client doesn't understand, they've got this thing with their stuff. They don't want to let go of their stuff. But emphasizing that we're trying to sell the home for them and that we want to get them top dollar for their home, encourages them to let the professionals take over and help them. So decluttering is a really big thing. Another big thing I would say is curb appeal. When you drive up to the home, you want to make sure that you have, porches swept off. You have a new, fresh, clean mat down. You've taken care of maintaining your yard. Because that's the first thing people see when they pull up is the outside. And so you want to make sure it's fresh and clean and it looks well groomed.
Wow. So you do some more stuff on the outside too then?
Yeah, a little bit. Just with the curb appeal I think it's really important. So, yeah. And then another thing that people may not do, which is kind of surprising, is you need to clean. I say clean your home. Get it sparkling, make it smell good. When clients come in, they don't want to see your messy house. They want to see the potential that they have of moving into your space. Which brings me to another point. Removing, I call it neutralizing your home. You need to take down all personal things. I think that helps the potential client who's coming in see, they can visualize themselves in the space if they don't see family photos.
What about, for instance, religious artifacts, those kind of things? Should they come down or?
Yeah, I personally, everybody, has a different opinion about that, but I think it would help the homeowners sell their home quickly if they took down all personal religious things, personal photos, and kind of cleaned up the space as best they can, because you want the person coming into the home to be able to visualize themselves living there, and that makes it easier for them.
Oh, wow. Good thought. Yeah, I've had that. One of the difficulties is to tell a potential buyer, well, you're going to have to kind of overlook some of the problems here.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do. It's especially the ladies. They're going to be their place of abode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's got to look nice.
Yes.
It does. So, what is your passion about interior decorating?
My passion, I love design. I've always loved it, like I said earlier. But my goal with my clients is to help them achieve that designer look that they want within their budget. That's my passion for design. I want to help people design that pretty that they see in a magazine, or, I think everybody deserves to have a pretty, clean, relaxing home. When you come home and get away from the world, you want to be able to relax. And so that's my goal when I help my clients, is to create that look that they want within their budget. It's really important as a designer to listen to your clients and understand, take into consideration their budget, because it's their money that you're working with. And so that's a huge thing that I try to really adhere to, is that budget. And it also helps the client as well.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody gives you a call, what's the process?
Yeah, the process. So when a client calls me and said, every client is different and every client's budget is different. So when I get a call where somebody wants a living room updated or whatever, so the first process that we do is I go to their home and we have a consultation. Usually it's about an hour long, and I just listen to the client and try to understand what it is that they want. So, really listening on those key, if they say, I don't like this sofa, I want a new sofa, I need to make sure I write that in my notes and listen, So it's all about the client and trying to figure out what they want. And then, of course, we have to go and measure. There's a lot of measuring involved, the space, looking at the space, finding out what it looks like, taking before and after photos is something that everybody enjoys to see, obviously. So, yeah, and then moving on from there is just the client gets to sit back and relax, and I'm the one that gets to do all the work.
Cool.
So designing the space and then, having them approve it, and then doing all the purchasing. There's a lot involved.
Now, I've seen a lot of new colors showing up. How do you keep yourself abreast of what's going on here?
Yeah, kind of getting in on checking in with the Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, finding out the new colors of the year, the colors that come out. I think Benjamin Moore has a real deep blue color that came out this year. Colors actually coming back. For the last couple of years, it seems like everybody's been doing real neutral color palettes in their home, but colors coming back, so we can all look forward to that. So that's kind of fun. And that's another thing I do within my job is color consultation, trying to figure out what the client likes and helping them get the right shade for their home. Sometimes it can be tricky, but we as designers have little things that we can do to help them without the costly mistakes. I recently had a client who purchased paint, put it on the walls, and didn't like it. She did this 4 times. Ooh. She didn't get a designer, and she spent lots of money on paint, and not only money, but time that she could have been doing, something else with her time. So those are costly mistakes that, a lot of people think they can't afford a designer, but we can actually help them, save them time and money by using the little things that we know to help them achieve the look they want.
Wow. There's a lot more to this than I understand. Marilyn, my wife, has kind of a feel for it, but wow. Us guys, I don't think we really understand what's going on. So it's appreciative we have somebody like you around to help out. Now, Debbie, one of the things I run into a lot is empty nesters. All of a sudden, we've got children moving out of the home. Do we turn that bedroom into an office? Do we turn it back into a bedroom? What's the general idea of how to decide what you want to do?
That's a great question. I think a lot of times, well, speaking from experience with my parents, when we moved out of the house, they actually ended up putting their home on the market, and they moved. And I think they wanted to downsize a little bit, but also you have people who are empty nesters, and sometimes they leave all the children's things in the room because they can't bear to, I guess, depart with it, or, it's like acknowledging that your child's gone. But I think for a lot of those empty nesters, they can take that room and they can use it for a guest bedroom. They can use it for a room when their grandchildren come back to visit. You know, they always like to have that space, I think, when their family comes back and they're larger, you know, they're multiplying. So they come back and they might need that space for their grandchildren. You know, so I think it all depends on the buyer and what their needs are. Each person is different, and that's what I would that's what I would say.
Yeah, I guess if we're thinking in terms of getting your home ready for sale, probably better be looking at more specific.
Staging the room for a specific reason, not just, you know, like when you're going to sell a home, you need to have it staged for a specific purpose so the people that are coming can see that. Because if you just have, like, you know, a couch in a room, in a bedroom, and they're going to say, what is this room used for? It's harder to sell a house, I think, when it's like that. So.
Now, Debbie, I've heard about a new aspect called e-design. Do you have some information for us on that?
Yeah, e-design is kind of a new trending thing with interior designers. I have it on my website. There's a little description in there about what it does and how it works. But basically, e-design is if a client sees they have a need for a change in a room, but they don't necessarily want to hire a designer to come over, or if the designer is living in a different city or state and they choose a specific designer to work on their space, we can actually do it virtually through the computer. And I have a picture of an e-design that I did recently. So a woman contacted me and she said, I have a guest bedroom and I want to update the space. She said, tell me how e-design works. And I said, well, basically, you tell me what you want the space to be used for, and I will develop a design plan for your room, and then I'll send you all the information, and the client is the one who goes out and purchases all the stuff for the room, and then they get to put it in the room themselves. So the only thing I do as a designer is design the room how aesthetically how it should look, be that color choices, bedding. So for instance, with this room, she has this bedroom. It's a good sized guest room, and she just wanted an updated, fresh look. So what I did was put together a plan, and this is the plan. So I chose bedding for her. I chose some curtains, some artwork, a new nightstand, and pulled the room together through this. So
that really brightened the room. I'm just impressed with that.
Yeah. Let's go back to that before picture. This is the before of her space.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little outdated. The bedding, I think, is a little outdated. And then I send her this. This is what she sees when I send her the information, and she decides if she likes all the things I've chosen for the room, and then she goes out and purchases those items and puts it in the space.
Very nice.
So it's great for long distance when you're trying to help somebody that lives far away. So it's a new thing with interior design. It's really fun.
I had a situation a few years ago where my sister's husband passed away, and so there was all his stuff in there. Do you have any suggestions what the person might want to do to refresh in that room?
Yeah, there's several ways to go about it. E-design is a great choice, depending on how much time that person needs to have that stuff in the room after somebody passes away, or whatever the case may be, or if they're just a college student that's leaving. There's several ways to go about doing it, but e-design I think is a great way to do it if the client lives too far away, or if they just want to do it themselves and they don't want the designer to come put everything in, then at least they have the plan and they can implement it themselves.
So this is kind of an offer that you give to people that they can either use or not use.
Yeah.
And also whether or not they're going to have to cough up a few bucks to get it done. Right?
Yeah, right. And this is also a great way for somebody that doesn't have the funds to do it all at once, because they have the source list of where the items are, how much they are, and they can take their time doing it, within their budget. So it's a little bit easier on the budget, I guess you could say, if you don't do it all at once. This is an easier way for a client that wants that look, but wants to do it over like a period of time.
Now, I've gotten a real education from this today. It's been, like I say, I could tell if a building's ready to fall down and how to fix it. But as far as the beautification, I can see where a professional can be really helpful. I know the difference when I walk into a home and feel comfortable with it, and when I don't. But to determine what made it look comfortable and what didn't is beyond me so far.
Yeah, that's where we come in. Yep. I love doing interior design. Like I said, it's just really a joy for me to help people create the look that they want. And I think everybody deserves to have a space where they love where they live.
So Debbie, we're going to put your information up on this, of course, but can you tell us what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Sure. So I have a website. It's allthingsnewinteriordesign.com. If you go to my website, there's a contact page where you can find my information there. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook, it's All Things New Interior Designs. And I'm also on Instagram. You can go on Instagram and see a bunch of photos that I've done of design work that I've done. And that's also All Things New Interior Designs.
Thanks, Debbie, for coming by.
Sure, thank you.
It's been a good education, really has.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, dear.